Hello my beautiful viewers on my channel, James Higgins Open World. What this is a massive shout out to a YouTube channel called Weird World, which is an off the charts YouTube channel which talks about time travel, reincarnation, ghosts, all sorts of paranormal stuff, UFOs, a lot. But what I want to draw your attention to on Weird World is the many reincarnation stories of Cynthia Henderson. It's a 3-part story, and the one particular story that I want to draw your attention to is they hypnotized her, and she was before the French Revolution. She was a really rich woman before the French Revolution, and sorry about that, before the French Revolution, and in the end she had her head chopped off. But before that, when they hypnotized her, they had a translator in who could speak French. Now what you have to remember, this woman is that she's not French. She can't speak French, right? But this is the really interesting bit with this story, this particular reincarnation. You talk about quite a few of her reincarnations, but I'm just focusing on this particular one because there's a little thing there which is really interesting about it. Well, she was in before the French Revolution and she had her head chopped off. But before that, the translator, the French translator, talked to her in French. Now this is a French translator. Cynthia Henderson cannot talk French, but she talked in French under hypnosis, and it was in old dialect as well, so she could speak to the French translator in perfect French, and in her waking life she can't speak a word of French. Now that is really, really interesting, isn't it? You know, and he was the translator, he was speaking to her, but she was talking in French and using French dialect from like 200 years ago, because this was the French Revolution we're talking about. So where did that come from? She couldn't speak French in any way, shape or form in waking life, but when they took her back to the alleged life that she'd led, she could speak perfect French. Isn't that amazing and strange? And in her other incarnation, the first incarnation they talk about, I won't give too much away, was before Jesus Christ walked the earth, and she was a man in this one. She had loads of slaves. She was looking after slaves, and then another one of her reincarnations, she was a slave. She was a slave on a plantation in America. Maybe that was punishment for being a slave trader before Jesus Christ walked the earth. Honestly, you want to watch it. It's really interesting. But the thing that stood out for me was the fact, and the translator was amazed as well, how she could speak French when she's never learnt French, and she's not French. And he said it was an old dialect as well from 200 years ago. Makes you wonder, is reincarnation real? Is it real? You know, do we reincarnate and reincarnate until we reach enlightenment? You know? It's very interesting, isn't it? That was one thing that stood out for me. The fact that she could speak French. And they recorded all this as well. She could speak French under hypnosis, and yet she's never learnt French, and she's not French. And the translator spoke to her in French. That is weird, isn't it? That's a bit freaky as well, isn't it? But anyway, check out Weird World on a YouTube channel. It's an off the charts channel, and check out that story. The Cynthia Henderson story in 3 parts on Weird World. The Many Reincarnation Stories of Cynthia Henderson. Check that out. It's a 3-part thing on Weird World. And you'll be just as amazed as I am. Honestly, that bit was probably the best reincarnation stories I've ever heard on any channel. Check it out. Anyway, see you on the next one.